Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we will talk about antique armoires. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. An antique armoire is one of the most classic pieces of antique furniture available. We frequently think of antique armoires as entrances to secret chambers, or perhaps entire worlds because of their massive full-length doors. While most antique armoires do not transport us to another world, they do give a great deal of elegance and beauty to both new and old homes. Antique armoires are basically tall wardrobe or cabinet pieces with one or two tall hinged doors. Small drawers or shelves as well as rods or bars for hanging clothes may be installed in the inside. Antique armoires can have mirrored doors, glass doors, or wooden doors. Before closets were constructed into rooms, a solid wood freestanding wardrobe, or armoire French for wardrobe, was the standard for storing clothes. However, not everyone could afford such a luxury, and many antique wardrobes belonged to upper-class people who had multiple wardrobes. As a result, we frequently witness artistic flourishes, and rich accents on antique armoires from the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries. Rococo or Gothic decorations, mirrored doors and naturalistic carvings are common features of antique French armoires. These feminine accents on antique French armoires show a level of craftsmanship and artistry only the wealthy could afford. Between the 1850s and 1910s, antique Victorian wardrobes of various styles, woods, and sizes were produced in the United States. Antique wardrobe in America, antique Victorian wardrobes of all styles, woods, and sizes were produced between the 1850s and 1910s. Antique armoires are frequently referred to as knockdown wardrobes. Simply put, these components were simple to disassemble and reassemble. During the Victorian era, this helped these monstrously enormous closets fit up small staircases and twisting halls. The Chifforobe, another French phrase combining robe meaning clothing, and chiffonier, or a type of chest of drawers, gained popularity in America in the 1920s. During the Great Depression, furniture designers frequently created chifforobes as a cost-effective dual-purpose piece of furniture. The distinction between an armoire and a chifforobe is that a chifforobe, like a dresser, will have one side entirely made up of drawers. Finally, in the 20th century, various cedar closets and cedar-lined wardrobes were introduced. These unique wardrobes assist to keep moths at bay while smelling great. How to determine the age of an antique armoire? People typically have difficulties dating antique armoires because they have been around for decades. To begin, pay attention to the construction and materials of your antique armoire. Obviously, the style can lead you astray as many distinct furniture types have been replicated over time. Take a look at the hardware, hinges and nails in your antique wardrobe. These can help you figure out when and where your antique armoire was made. Because much of it was hand-forged, a wardrobe created before the industrial period will have large, hefty and ornate hardware. It could have been manufactured before 1920 if it had nails instead of screws in the back. Similarly, remove any drawers and inspect the construction. You have a well-made object if you see dovetailing or corner joints that are braided together. Also, if the dovetailing is unusual, it could mean your antique armoire was handcrafted before 1850. Finally, examine any pattern on your antique wardrobe's wood and mirror glass. These hints will assist you in distinguishing between a reproduction and a real antique wardrobe. What is the best way to refinish an antique armoire? The simple way. If you own an antique armoire and want to restore it, be prepared to put in a lot of effort. If this is your first refinishing attempt, consider these simple steps to beautify your antique armoire. Refinishing requires a lot of time, space and trial and error, so if this is your first refinishing attempt, consider these simple steps to beautify your antique armoire. An antique armoire may only require a light cleaning to be restored. You might like to keep the original finish and just clean, polish and wax it. To remove filth and debris, I always start with a light cleanser, like Murphy's oil soap and water or the Murphy's spray cleaner for convenience. Then, with a cloth or 000 grade steel wool, I use Howard's Restore finish, available in different colors, to bring out the color of the wood and minimize any scratches or water damage. Wipe off any extra Restore finish with a clean rag after that. Finish it up with a high-quality furniture polish to maintain the shining wood. Howard's Beeswax Polish and the original Beeswax are the only two I use virtually exclusively, in an aerosol can. Both work well and give your antiques a satiny gloss. Is it possible to paint an antique armoire? While I've become a purist when it comes to antique armoires with gorgeous wood detail, I understand the desire to paint an antique armoire to match your decor. You may like a more casual lived-in style, especially if you live in the country. Why not paint a farmhouse armoire to match the rest of your decor? After all, a plain pine or poplar wardrobe can appear extremely homey in a new hue. How do you take apart or put together an antique armoire? Victorian wardrobes that have been dismantled can be difficult to reassemble. The majority of them have a strong foundation, usually a bottom drawer with feet. Then there's a solid rear wall which will be large and unfinished on one side, 2 outer side walls, 1 or 2 doorways and a crown. A complete bonnet or carvings on the top of the crown might be attractive. Inside the wardrobe there is sometimes a central wall as well. Wooden pieces slip on to secure each wall into place in most knockdown wardrobes. Large screws or wooden dowels can also be used to hold them together. The Victorians used a lot of imagination to put these mobile pieces of furniture together. I recommend putting together a Victorian wardrobe with a friend, because reassembling the walls often requires holding the walls in odd places. If you're doing it yourself, use lengthy clamps or wooden supports to hold each piece in place while you reassemble it. Antique armoires can be used for a variety of purposes other than clothing storage. Antique armoires are frequently used to fill a void in a living room, kitchen, or even a foyer. Antique armoires in the living room. One of the most obvious, modern uses for an antique armoire is in the living room. Keeping a television hidden, you may typically add shelves or supports to a fashionable antique armoire to hold your components, electronics and television. Of course, you may store comfortable blankets, cushions, wrapping paper, art tools or candles in an antique armoire. These fantastic storage items will assist you in concealing anything encroaching on your living room. Antique armoires in the kitchen. A wonderful pantry might begin with an antique armoire. Simply add more shelves or use the hooks and rods already in your wardrobe to hang pots and pans. When a historical home's kitchen is adorned with freestanding furniture, it looks more natural and authentic rather than pre-hung cabinetry. Invest in an antique wardrobe for your kitchen as a practical alternative to ordinary cabinetry. Antique armoires in the bedroom. Of course, an armoire can keep your shoes, handbags, purses, or out-of-season garments, even if you already have a regular wardrobe or walk-in closet. Many individuals choose antique armoires for their spacious master bedrooms simply because they are so beautiful. Why not install a television or other electrical equipment inside? Antique armoires in foyer. A dreary foyer or doorway can be transformed with an antique armoire. An antique armoire, of course, lends an element of elegance that a simple mudroom bench cannot. Where can I get an antique armoire in my area? Of course, antique wardrobes can be found in local vintage furniture and antique stores. If you can't locate what you're looking for, there are always alternatives. When local retailers don't have what you need, the vast and beautiful world of the internet may provide you with a multitude of possibilities. You'll very certainly have to organize shipment, but where there's a will, there's a way. If you see an antique armoire that you just can't live without, you'll probably be able to put up with the shipping fees. After all, no two antique armoires are alike, so go with your gut and choose the one that will look best in your home. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.